I'm very lucky that I had a movie that allows me to do something as enormous as staging what at that point was the largest sporting event in American history. And at the same time, investigate small emotional moments like when Howard loses his son. There's such a tragic irony in this, that the very thing that had created this man's fortune is also the thing that ended up taking his child from him. It becomes a very, very pivotal moment in the piece. I didn't really do it any differently when I would do a horse race. They both require the same preparation and the same sort of creative specificity early on in the process. What I like to do when I develop a shooting plan for the movie is sort of take the early parts of the prep to do it privately. At that point, I'm sort of pretending that somebody else wrote the script, and I'm interpreting it as a way of having a sort of a set of fresh eyes. The shooting plan can encompass a lot of things. It can be the way I see the lighting. It can be performance notes. It can be blocking notes. It isn't just as dry and clinical as the shot list. There's so much more to directing a scene than just the shot list. When I make these notes, I'm still connected to the emotional intentions. I'll just talk to myself. I'll say, a series of inserts, fishing pole inserts, rafters, loading the tackle box, showing his purpose now, pleasing his father, getting ready, all the material that will be scattered across the river bottom later. I understand that I'm using these inserts to set up something for later on. Last insert is the key in the ignition. His hand fights with the gear shift. It should probably be up angled to emphasize his shortness, craning over the dashboard. Again, if I just write in a shot list up angle shot of Frankie, I don't understand the intentions, but what I really want when I shoot that up angle shot is to sort of emphasize this kid trying to see over the top of a dashboard. So, whizzing by on the road, his car one way, the logging truck the other. Yeah, that would work great. See, so I'm sort of, I don't know if it would work great, but I'm kind of talking to myself right there saying, yeah, that's a good idea. Keep going with that, Let's not show the collision. Let's not show it. Let's allow this to be in the imagination. Let's shift perspective into Howard's perspective at that moment, getting the phone call.
What?
The moment of the accident is not as important as the news of the accident. Howard racing toward the camera. The world has gone quiet now. I think it's often important to understand what you're going to do with sound before you ever shoot something, because sound and picture are so completely fused. Because sometimes some of the loudest things are a distant or a silent scream. The difference is that the sound is so low that it emphasizes the telephoto lens, so it gives you privacy and distance, which creates the feelings. Scene 76, the grave, very wide, beautiful, a tree is the marker, don't get tight, give them their privacy. So then those things then obviously turn into a shot list, which is more dry or clinical, but when you have both things, they enhance one another. One is almost the emotional roadmap to be able to read the other. Extreme wide angle, living room, day. Extreme wide angle, Howard across room. 2, tighter, he looks down at something in his hand. 3, Howard's POV, insert child's game. 4, game's POV, up angle at Howard. All of which is a pretty dry clinical shot list, but because I understood what the intentions were, getting closer into the intimacy of this game, which I discovered in the shooting plan, it's not such a dry clinical thing, when I eventually do it. It seems like it's a massive amount of preparation that is pretty invisible. I mean, all of this incredible preparation, it goes into this one sequence, which is essentially silent. It's emotional, but it may last, 30, 45 seconds in the movie. But one of the points is that you don't want the directing to show. Hopefully what someone is experiencing is a very visceral reaction to something. They shouldn't see you work. They should be engaged in the story and the people and the characters, and what you do cinematically is to enhance that so that they can get lost in the story.